I should be audible now, right? All right, cool. So you can put your doubts in the chat. I'll check them out. And hopefully my voice is clear. There is a lot of background noise in my area, so we'll have to deal with it for a while. Right. So view on the oil and gas sector, energy was bullish. I haven't checked on energy lately, so it is up today. So energy pulled back. I mean, it's just rotating around this area. So I talked about energy somewhere here. I think this is a good demand zone to buy. It is kind of reacting. The only problem is that it is very extended, right? So things are extended in the market right now. So if you are you're taking a long here and you check out some energy stocks, suppose maybe ONGC. So you see, this is not the area where you want to buy, because you can maybe buy with this demand as your reference, but the point is the chance of getting a big move from here is very less. So any kind of entry in this energy sector will be some kind of a pullback into this area right here, and then maybe we will find some good entry point. Right now in the energy and gas sector, you see all these stocks are basically not doing anything at all. BPCL is absolutely done, there is no point about it. But you see Reliance as well, nothing really going on as such, so to focus on this sector. So i would uh, I would suggest you to avoid this. All right, you can find much better sectors. So let's talk about the market view. So bank nifty is approaching some daily early demand zone. This demand is very wide, that is why it's taking some time here, but it's approaching an early demand zone somewhere around let's see on the lower time frame. Right, somewhere around 38,350 is where the demand is, right? And bank nifty is actually stronger than nifty today. So in nifty, if you see, nifty was weaker than bank nifty in the morning itself. So in this area, if you check out the charts of nifty and bank nifty, you see bank nifty was basically sideways, right? And it's breaking down now, but nifty had started to break down in the morning itself. So if you shorted bank nifty, that is actually, I mean, already got the bias right, but the context is missing. So nifty was a better short than bank nifty today. All right, bank nifty might just dip into these demand zones and react back up because it's stronger than nifty. So there was definitely some kind of buying going on in bank nifty. Now if it's negated or not, it'll only be clear when it reacts from this demand, right? Because we have to see what's happening around the demand zone. We cannot just look at random ranges and um, talk about how the index will behave, right? So bank nifty, if you have shorted bank nifty, in the last session as well, I discussed that you should check the at least 3 charts before taking the trade in the index. You should check nifty, you should check nifty IT, right? So nifty IT is still not that bearish. So all these sectors together are actually very bearish. Nifty, pharma, realty. So this is dragging nifty down. All right. So nifty was weaker than bank nifty from the morning itself, and I was looking for a long in bank nifty. But what was the condition for a long in bank nifty? Of course, long because it was uh, stronger than nifty, right? So what was the condition? So if you see, the supply buildup is around this area. All right. So you see there are multiple supplies which are building up around this area, breaking these intermediate swing tops, swing highs, swing lows, basically these swing lows, right? So there was a cluster of supply here, right? So any kind of significant move in bank nifty will come only when these supplies are absorbed on the 5 minute. All right. So what is happening here is, and this is actually coming from this base right here. This entire base is where the distribution is happening. So if any kind of long view in bank nifty, there is no point taking any long trade here. All right, because any kind of long view here will develop only above this supply at least, or maybe to be safe around this supply when it starts to absorb, right? So this is why I haven't really taken any trade. But in nifty there was definitely you could have tried a short. This supply was good, but I mean, maybe you could have done something here with a smaller size on the 1 minute, right? India 50 is also absorbing this demand, so I would have probably taken some short here if I saw nifty that time, right? Nifty 50 for swing this month. Nifty 50 for swing this month. There is nothing in Nifty 50 right now. All right, Nifty 50 you only want to buy around here, which is this level. This is the zone. All right. This is the zone where you want to buy Nifty. Nothing above it until this range shrinks. So maybe something like this happens, and then we might see a move. So there is nothing in Nifty right now. Don't buy Nifty for a swing trade. All right. All right. Bajaj, Hindustan, Sugar. This is good, but again the same thing. This supply isn't tested yet, so I'll be a bit cautious with this one. UPL again. UPL, there is nothing. You should exit UPL if you are in UPL. So UPL, see, there was an entry here. This was the, so I discussed about the reference range, the next supply, and the previous demand basically. So now you see it reacted, but now it's failing from here. So you should exit UPL if you're holding. You should exit when the hourly demand starts to break. After testing the daily supply, when these demand starts to go, then you should exit. All right. So nothing in UPL right now. All right. Somani Ceramics. Somani Ceramics. I don't really think there is anything. Yeah, there is nothing in Somani Ceramics. Ignore this. Again, look at this. We want some action here on sideways action here. All right. So don't buy this. These zones are already tested. Right, so Bank Nifty shorts, you should probably book something here. This is a very strong demand. This one right here. And it's stronger than Nifty, so you should definitely book something. Power Grid, again, Power Grid, there is nothing in Power Grid right now. Power Grid, this is the zone. Alright, this is the zone. So at these levels, every day I discuss the same thing. If it's far from the 50 EMA, there is nothing in that stock. Alright. Alright, was there an entry in Nifty today? You could have done that on the 1 minute, but that was the only entry. Nothing else. But Nifty was much weaker than Bank Nifty, and it's playing out nicely here. Alright. No update about the mentorship. I'll update. Don't worry about the mentorship. I'll update that on my story when the registration starts. Alright, Nelco. Alright, let's check out Nelco. Nelco again, see, these kinds of charts are good. When you see stuff like this, when you suppose you are trying to trade a swing, you're trying to take swing trades. So it's always better that your stock has moved like this and then it's forming a base here. This has a much higher chance of going up rather than some stock which looks like, let's say, something like this. Alright, you should never trade these structures. Alright, don't trade this. Even if it's breaking out through the range, do not trade this. It's always better to trade the stock in this phase. Look, see, there's a big run up, stock goes sideways, then you find your entries. Alright, so see, again there's a big run up, stock goes sideways, find your entry. Here as well, there's an entry. So never trade a stock when it's coming off from its lows somewhere here. The chances of you catching a bottom is very less. You see one failure, two failure, third, fourth, and then on the fifth time it's working out. So by the time it works out, you will be basically drained. So always look for structures like this when you see a big move and then the stock goes sideways. So you see a big move and then the stock does something like this. Alright. So you see again something here as well. Big move, dip down all the way, which is not good, but hopefully you get the point. Alright. See this one as well, really strong structure. This one also I've discussed multiple times. So trade starts like this. Alright. Right. So SIS weekly chart. Alright, let's check out. Weekly chart is good, but if it will break out or not, that's the point. There's some strong untested supply here as well. So I don't really know about this one. Excel Industries, again, nothing in Excel Industries. Look at all this. These supplies are very strong. Alright. So avoid these kind of structures. This is not a range breakout, alright. I mean, even if it's a range breakout, it's not changing the character of the stock. Downtrend until this supply is broken. All right, BCG. BCG, the only problem is the demand is very far. Right, so here maybe uh, be cautious. Chola Finance again very far from 50 EMA, nothing in Chola Finance. Adani and Enterprises is also turning it down, I think, yeah. So Adani, now you see that this structure is not good. You see this kind of a channel-like structure, this is not good. So we'll wait for a healthy dip around these levels and then maybe we'll buy it. At this level, I'm not buying Adani. Look at this chart, it's not really uh, good. Renuka Sugar, again, Renuka Sugar we've discussed multiple times. We're discussing Renuka from this demand, I think, from this area. Right, so you see until this demand is broken, the chart is bullish. So this will start moving up when it's time. RT and Ratan India, all right, Ratan India Enterprises. Maybe you can take an entry in this one, all right. If you're talking about this is all right. But keep your stop below this low right here, which is around 51. Right, don't hold it if it starts to break down. Escorts again, it's doing nothing in the middle of nowhere, so avoid escorts. It has come down to the 50 EMA basically, so maybe if it starts to break structure again, we'll look at this. Jain irrigation, all right. Jain irrigation chart is good. No entries as such right now because there's a ton of supply here, but the chart is all right. Until this demand is taken out, this is good. You can hold it. You can probably take an entry here as well, but wait for some correction here. All right, the supply is getting tested for the first time. All right, almonds India, almonds global. Nothing here again. Breaking down. See, you want to enter these structures here, and when they start to break down, you want to exit here immediately. All right, whenever you see structures like these. So, see, longs now in Bank Nifty, you see, which is the base which made the last low. So, this is the area of supply which made the last low. So, longs scenario will be until if the supply is tested like multiple times or the supply is broken and then we see a pullback. Right. So, till then, there is no long in Bank Nifty. Don't try to catch the day low or something. All right. Trend is a good example. I'm not sure what example of what. So GNFC, we have been talking about this structure again and again. Stick with these kinds of strong structures, and now it's up. Tata Motors, all right. Tata Motors again, structure is all right. This is your demand area basically. So it can do something like this. You should hold it. It's not that bad. It's testing the demand for the first time. MGL, nothing in MGL. I don't even remember the last time I watched this stock. Even on weekly time frame, it doesn't matter. Weekly, monthly, it doesn't matter. I'm not buying this. State Bank of India, long, nothing on intraday, nothing on daily as well. Don't buy here, guys. Don't buy here. I've been telling you repeatedly. This is the point to buy. 50 EMA, all right, demand. Don't buy here expecting a breakout. All right, MG Infra again. I think that is also downside. Moving up. So don't buy these. You want to see structures like this, a big move and sideways, and then again it will do a big move. So if I pick up some example of this kind of structure, see something like this, a big move sideways, then again a big move sideways, and again a big move. All right, you want to see that this base and this base is far away. when you're trading momentum stocks. So um, so you can use this trick. Whenever you see that this base and this base is very near, don't buy it. All right, the supply is strong. Right, whenever you see that this base and this base is forming very near to it, you can buy here definitely. All right, because this is the first pullback. After the test of the supply, you can buy this, but here don't buy it. All right, because you want to see structures like this where the two bases are far away. That means that the supply is very weak. Right, look at this as well. Base here and previous base was somewhere here, so you want to see structures like this. All right, these are FNO. See this as well. The previous base is probably somewhere here, maybe a little one here as well, but the major base is around this level. So you want to see that the base. I'll just remove this. Right. So you want to see something like this as well. You want to see that the bases have a lot of distance. That means the stock is in some kind of a sustained bullish move, and the chances of this continuing is very high. All right. See, this is also a good example. I will definitely look to buy here. If this supply was taken out, I would have definitely bought this stock as well. All right, Tata Power, HDFC Bank, Bharti Airtel. All right, let's take out some big stocks. Tata Power again, you see it's losing some momentum, so I think it's earning as well. Yeah, so earnings is there, it's losing momentum, so I wouldn't really bet on a breakout. All right, so this is thin waters. My entry was, I discussed it's around somewhere here, I think. So right now this can also happen. Maybe a big breakout can also happen. So this one, I have nothing to say about this really. HDFC Bank. HDFC Bank, nothing in HDFC Bank. You should avoid this at all costs. Right, so Bank Nifty is trying to hold, but this is continuing the dump. So let's see the hourly. All right, so this is, of course, this is a nice bearish move, but again we are approaching this base. So this demand. All right, let's see Bank Nifty. Right, so nothing is there in Bank Nifty right now, as I discussed a few minutes ago. Until this supply is starting to go, I'm not taking any long. So on anything on the 1 minute, something like this, maybe there is no entry, because this is the previous base. Nothing is there below it. So mostly the move is done, and the short was better in Nifty because it was much weaker since the morning itself. Bank Nifty was sideways. All right. Trend is a good example of base formation of after a move. Yes, this is a good example. This is very bullish. I mean, does not look bullish anymore. So wait for some kind of something like this. All right, wait for something like this here, and then you can take a strong long here. This is good. All right, but what you want is you want some move like this and then a very sideways move. So it means that the stock is still very bullish. All right. So let's see some. Right. So if you take this example, of course I won't trade this stock because it's kind of illiquid, but you want a strong move and then a sideways action and then again a continuation move, right? These stocks are very strong. Something like this as well. So you see this was the demand which made the last high, right? Came down here and there's an entry maybe here, or you can take a little entry here as well. This again, same thing right here. Same thing here as well. Look at this, a strong move and then a sideways base. And that is when you want to start buying these. Look at this as well. This is good. Very strong move, base, and now the supply is tested. So anything is buyable here. This as well. Look at this. Right. So take these stocks where there is sustained bullish behavior. If they break down, then it's over. All right. There is no ambiguity. If it breaks down, it has come down to some lower demand. No, that there will be no lower demand for it to come down to. Something like this as well. See, I would have definitely taken the long here and then exited here, of course, when the market got weak. So trade structures like these where they move big, at least 50%. All right, this is in the 80% of move. again go sideways, and then start moving again. Okay, these are very strong structures in any kind of market. In any kind of market, even in FNO stocks, if I remember correctly, right? You see structures like this; these are very strong. Until this demand is taken out, this is very strong. So you want to always position yourself in stocks like these. Even Indigo is kind of strong, a big move, and then it's every time it's trying to go down, it's bouncing back up really fast. So Indigo is also very strong. Bank of Baroda, you see, big move, then a sideways action, and then we go back up. So this base should be far from the current base. That is the entire point. Vedanta as well, if you see, big move, sideways action, again a big move, sideways action. So these are very strong charts. All right. PNBC, there is nothing in PNB. Every time it tries to break out, it comes back down. So you don't want to take these structures. They're not progressing anywhere. Now you see here, big move, sideways, and then again a move. So again, here I'll enter. All right. And then when this supply holds, then I'll exit here around cost, maybe up at a little loss. The point is to avoid stuff like this. All right. The point is to avoid stuff like this because this is some consistent selling going on. So you always want to avoid stuff like this. You always want to take stocks which have moved significantly and then they're going sideways. See SRF again, same thing, very bullish. SRF we've discussed in the last session as well. Let's take something else. All right, let's see. Gujarat Gas is still good. Gujarat Gas is also good. All stocks with Gujarat is good actually. Chambal, see again, Chambal is very strong as well. Let's see if it shapes up again. But here at these areas, this was a great buy, Chambal. And now see, avoid structures like these. This one very strong. So in any market, even in the FNO space, there will always be 8 to 10 stocks which will be very strong, and you want to focus on those only, right? All right. So let's see. No reaction yet, but if you're holding shorts, then this is a good time to book something. Right? Balram Puccini positional short. What? Why do we want to short this? This is one of the strongest. This is probably the strongest FNO stock. So I don't really get the thought process behind shorting this in a positional trade. I'm not sure what you're talking about. All right, Alok Industries again. Nothing in Alok Industries. Let the base finish. All right, let the base finish here. We'll see something like this, and then there will be an entry. All right, so let it finish. Godrej Consumer again. It's in a downtrend. So the strongest FMCG stock is Varun Beverages. All right, it is Varun Beverages. So this is good. See again, big move, sideways, and now it's trying to go up again. All right, big move, sideways, goes up again. So trade structures like these. Steel City Securities. All right, let's check it out. Steel City Securities. It's fallen a lot. So this supply is not tested. All right, we want something like this. You see multiple tests, and then the move starts. So let the supply get tested. There's a lot of time before this base gets completed. So you see there is no momentum in this entire drop, right? So Bank Nifty is not. I don't think this down move should sustain without testing out this supply somewhere here. So don't short anymore, right? Don't short here anymore. Sun Pharma intraday long. All right, let's check it out. Sun Pharma intraday long. No, first of all, the volumes have dried up in Sun Pharma. All right, you see candles like this, you start avoiding the stock. Right, and intraday long, for an intraday long, you don't want stuff like this behind you. So you see the demand here is not coming from this range low or this one. The whenever you see that a range is broken and the stock comes back very fast, you don't take the breakout demand, all right, because it's already tested once here. The actual demand where this range is being built is this one. This is an early demand. I'm pretty sure. All right. So you see, this is where the range is being built. This hourly demand zone, right? So these levels are extended in Sun Pharma. So intraday it's a bit tricky. There is some other stuff which you need to know as well. The breakout demand zone is not everything. All right. So avoid Sun Pharma for intraday. IDFC IDFC Limited, yes, IDFC Limited is also good as well. You see a big move, then let it test it out and go sideways. We might see some kind of move up. The only problem is it's at a weekly supply, so watch out for that one. But until this demand is taken out, which is this low, it's good. All right. Angel one, yes, this is good as well. This was good here. I remember talking about it, and again here. I'm so sorry. Right, so it's good here as well. This is a good chart. Sorry. All right. Tata Chemical, yes, good one. Tata stocks are good. Tata stocks are still good. Don't worry about this kind of fall, which happened a few months ago. Tata stocks are still good. CDSL, the only problem is that this was the area to enter, all right? This one, after the test of this supply, maybe here as well. Right now, see where you are, all right? See where the previous high was and see where you are. So the base is actually somewhere here around 1320, 1330, which is why I'm avoiding CDSL for the past few weeks. Every time we've talked about CDSL, my suggestion has been to avoid it, because you see the base is, I mean, the immediate demand from where the move is starting is very far. So we want something like this, and then we want a base here to buy it. All right. Here it's just a base on this base. So actual demand is coming from the lower areas. So this is why I'm very skeptical buying this. You see, it also looks like a loss of momentum structure. You see stuff like this. Now this supply is not even getting taken out. So some kind of structural shift is happening. So I'll not be surprised if I see something like this in CDSL. All right. So avoid this stock. There is nothing right now. Gallant metal as well, nothing in gallant metal. You see, this is the first time to buy this. When the supply is tested, buy it here. When it fails, just exit. So this is your area to operate. So you see in every trend. Right, so let's discuss this as well, right? So when a trend starts, when a trend is being formed like this, right, you have a very thin area to operate, which is this area right here, right? This one. Now suppose what happens here, the stock does something like this. All right. So now the structure is done. Your area to operate was here. Just on the first pullback, when these supplies are tested multiple times, then you buy here. If this breakout fails, the stock is done. This supply is very, very strong. All right. So this will again take a few more weeks at least to go up. So you ignore that stock. And this is how things get. I mean, when there's a big bull market, suppose it's a bull market for like 1 year. So this is how the stocks will get excluded. A lot of stocks will participate here, few stocks will participate here, and then on the next moves you will see that very less number of stocks are participating because almost all of them have fallen down. All right. So this is how your portfolio should also work, right? When you're starting out, everything should be going up together. When you're in the late stages, some will fail, but again you will see that stuff is still going up. And when you are extremely late, when stocks are actually downtrending, then it's very easy to find out the stronger structures because half of the thing is downtrending. All right. All right. DHP India entered at 690. Let's check it out. This is again good. See, again a good chart. Look at the move. Vertical rise, test of supply. This is really good. Good one. TD Power Systems. All right. TD Power Systems is also good. The only issue is we don't have any base yet. So I'd want a test of this supply and then something like here. Right. So structures like these, look at this. Structures like these. Look at this right here. Demand, easy move up, right? Again, you see there's a big move, base, move up. So the only issue with everyone is, you will end up drawing stuff like this. So this is essentially a bull flag, but what we are doing is we are using the last demand zone. So every big move will have some demand zone at which the range will be formed. All right, so stop should be below the demand, not below your flag. So always keep that in mind. So you see, this is the demand where this thing is holding. So stop should be below this if you're entering here, or if you're entering here, it should be below the low. So this is how your structure will be defined if you use the demand zone instead of drawing a flag, because you'll end up buying here. You'll end up buying the breakout, but the actual part is to but the actual area to buy is when it reacts from the demand and stops falling from the supply. All right. Tata Power, will it break the resistance? See, you don't want to think that way. All right. You don't want to think that way. The way to approach the market is to see Tata Power is strong here. All right. So suppose I'm watching Tata Power somewhere here. This is the time everything is very strong. Tata Power is very strong. Tata Power is strong here. So now where is the 50 EMA? It's far, very far. So Tata Power is strong, but it's extended, right? It means that if it pulls back and the market falls, this will give me a good point to enter. All right. So this is the structure which I'll watch. I'll not enter right here. I'll let it come down to the 50 EMA, to some kind of demand zone, and then I'll buy here. All right, because it was, this entire thing is strong from for multiple months. All right, and again now see, strong, dips down, doesn't break the 50 EMA, so stronger than Nifty. Nifty was below the 50 EMA, and of course downtrending. This was never downtrending, and again you're getting a move up, right? So expecting a breakout here is nothing, because these are extended levels. Anything can happen. All right, even if it comes down like this, and then if it comes down like this, it's not bearish until this demand is broken, which is around 215. All right, so these are very extended levels to buy this thing. Even if it breaks out, I'm happy to miss out, because I entered somewhere here itself, and I've discussed this multiple times in the live as well. So Tata Power, Tata Motors, these are stronger structures, and now the bases are getting completed. See stuff like this. So don't buy the breakout. All right, just note down that the stock is strong. Whenever it pulls back, gives you a proper entry, you take it. All right, give me 1 minute. All right. Yeah. So we're talking about Tata. So we're talking about strong structures like these. So you don't want to focus on the resistance level. You want to focus on where the demand is coming from, which is this area. All right. Shreyas shipping. Let's check it out. All right. Just a second. Shreyas shipping, again. It's the same thing. I do not want to go against this supply. All right. So this is what you want to avoid, and maybe this is what you want to trade. This maybe don't trade this because it's far away from the EMA. But structures like this, not when you see some big fall like this, right? KNR Constructions, again, this is all right. This is all right. This structure is good. This is a good structure. The only problem is it retraced all the way, so there is no specific bullish momentum, but still it's good. You want to focus on stuff like this when this move is not being retraced back. All right. When you see this move is being protected, that is when you want to buy it. Here, if you see, it came down all the way to the base, so maybe it's tiring out a bit, but still good. So Bank Nifty is kind of reacting. Right, so don't short here and don't take a long as well. Right, let it set up. The move for now is done. Should I exit specialty restaurant? All right, let's check it out. You should. I think we've discussed this multiple times as well. It's breaking out. We're discussing this from somewhere here. You should book something, definitely. This was a good trade. You see again stuff like this. Big move, sideways, you're bound to get a move. And the best example recently, which I shared, is this one. Right? Big move. All of this is protected. Very strong. Again, a big move. All right. So focus on structures like these. and keep buying them. So suppose you see something like this, that the chart is very strong. So when this supply is tested once, I will buy here, right? I'll buy a little and then I'll buy here as well, and then I'll buy here as well. So I'll keep buying them in small tranches so that it doesn't exceed my risk limit for one trade. But at the same time, I'm getting enough positions around the end of the base when the market is, getting in the mood to go up. I should have a lot of positions ready in the stock because it's a stronger name, and this is how you will get protected from corrections as well. So suppose the market goes sideways and market starts to drop here, your initial position in the stock is low, right? And when the base matures, you get a big move. And same thing I did in Borosil as well. When I was talking about Borosils in earlier, um, somewhere here around 300 when I gave it out. So same thing I was doing here itself. I started buying from here, and then I bought here, here, and here again. All right, and then my exit was somewhere here, I think. So, and the same thing I did in IIFL as well. IIFL Finance, if you remember, the chart was good, but the stock wasn't doing anything. So I was continuously buying around these levels, and then I exited on this breakdown candle. All right. So select out these strong structures and keep buying them. All right. They will they will not get spoiled very easily. And when they move, of course, you get a big move. Somani Ceramics, there is nothing in Somani Ceramics. We've discussed this. It's actually turning around, right? So South Bank, see again, you don't want to trade this. This entire move is being retraced, so you don't want this. All right. So Somani Ceramics, see, it's turning around now. Look at this. So this supply is holding, all right, and this demand is not holding anymore. You see. So maybe you can see a retracement back down. So don't buy this right now. All right. So we should see some kind of move till at least 38,500. Don't take this trade long again. I'm telling you. Uh, you don't buy this just because it's at a demand zone and it's trying to shape up. You should always take trades when things are getting ready for a big move. So big move will only come above this supply. So reaction and then maybe a base or reaction and a fall. We'll see what happens. Prestige has turned around. You should exit Prestige if it's not up today, right? So it has turned around that day itself. So you should exit this one, all right? The demand was somewhere here. See, this structure is also really good. The demand is at the lows, so it can come down, maybe do something like this again, and then you can buy again. You should at the moment you should exit this. BNF taking out internal supply. BNF is not taking out any internal supply. Internal supply is here, right? So internal supply is here. We can easily see some sharp pullback and then a fall. There is some supply here as well, but this is not. I mean, taking out this supply doesn't mean that this will also be taken out. All right. This, I mean, it's already far from the 50 EMA, so this might get taken out just like that. All right. So any big move will come above this. So you see, this was the demand zone, reacted multiple times, and then a big move came below it. Right. Same thing happened here as well. Demand zone reacted multiple times. Big move will come only below these levels. So you want to trade in indices when the entire structure is setting up for a big move. All right. So you see here as well, this demand, all right, broke through these highs, but again came back down, tested once, nice move, tested twice, and then just rolled over and fell. So these are structures where you expect a big move. All right. Here, even if the supply is not taken out, expecting a big fall from here, I mean, you'll get it like 2 out of 10 times. So what it can do from here is maybe go sideways, maybe test out here, or make a new low and go sideways, or it can also continue to fall. So I mean, but there is no short at this level. You should always focus on stuff like this. When you see a base, you see multiple demands getting taken out, you see a base build up, you see nice contractions. This is when the big move will happen. At this level, do not participate. Should I exit IEX? All right, a lot of people have bought IEX. So you should have exited IEX right here. All right. This is the demand zone which it might hold. So you can try that, but the structure has turned bearish below this demand zone right here. So your exit should have been right here itself. Right. Orient Cement is really strong. Orient Cement, I'm also holding a little bit. This is really strong. I think we've discussed this earlier as well. This is a really strong structure. Really good. BSHSL. All right. All right. So you see again, same thing right here. Even if it's a very illiquid stock, it doesn't really matter. These things move this way. So good trade. You should probably exit something. You're already getting like a 40% move. All right. So good trade. Perfect trade actually. Always focus on structures like this. Again and again. This is free money. All right. Volta's at demand on 5 minute. Tata Coffee also. I'll check it out. Tata Coffee is actually a weaker coffee name. Volta's at demand zone on the 5 minute, but you see, where is the supply which it has to take out? It's here. It's not even tested the supply right now. So I don't think this demand is going to hold. If it's going to hold, then something like this, and here will be a long entry. So nothing right now, definitely. And Voltage is kind of illiquid as well. You see the gaps here. Don't trade this in intraday. All right. Trade stocks like India Bull Housing. This thing is very liquid. Trade stocks like Z Limited. So trade stocks like those. So in Mag Nifty, don't do anything right now. There is demand around the lows. There is some supply here. So probably it will go sideways. Don't do anything. No longs, definitely. Lincoln, all right. Dalmia Sugar, Lincoln Pharma, all right. Lincoln Pharma, I haven't checked in a while. Let's check it out. Lincoln Pharma is good. Lincoln Pharma is holding through the market fall. It will break out one fine day. You should definitely hold it. Promoters are buying it. Dalmia Sugar is good as well. Nice one. Big move. Now setting up nicely. This is good. Sri Renuka as well, really good. Sri Renuka, we've been discussing it for multiple days. This is good. Market is falling, but many small and mid caps are rising. Should we trail or should you keep booking at every high? All right, so